If you saw my last video, I went go-karting with the Ferrari Club of Andalusia last Sunday, and it's always, I don't go to many of those sort of meetups and stuff, but it's always really interesting when you do go, because obviously all the different cars that turn up, different types of people that turn up. I don't go very often, but one of the things that really struck me last Sunday, more than anything else, was how pristine everybody's car is. Everyone's car looked like it was so good, like it was so well looked after, like it was so practically fresh out of the factory. And I thought, oh my God, I was a bit embarrassed with my car because it's really not perfect. There's a lot of things wrong with it. And it's only because I drive it quite a lot, so I don't have a lot of time to just sort of like to fix all the little things that aren't quite right with it. And I know a lot of people would be like, oh my God, Justin, if I had that car, I would like be looking after it and making sure everything was absolutely perfect. And that's what I always thought, to be honest. But the reality is that I don't have a lot of time. So when I do have time, I like to drive the car and not sit and like fix something on the wheel or fix one of the buttons that's not quite right. And I know a lot of these things would bother a lot of people, but they don't really bother me that much. So what I wanted to do today was just show you some of the stuff that's sort of starting to bother me, in the sense that I know they're there, I know I need to address them, and haven't quite got around to doing it. And they're only small things, and I think some of these things affect a lot of Ferraris. It's not just mine. It's just that mine seemed to be, the other day, it just seemed to be like the one that was a bit the most tattiest Ferrari of them all. And I do look after my car. Remember, I always have it serviced. If anything needs replacing, it's always replaced with a proper component, an original component. So when I replace the fuel, not the fuel pump, the transmission hydraulic pump, I put a brand new one in. It was an original spec. It wasn't some copy. It wasn't a remanufactured one. It was a brand new one. So it's not that I don't spend the money on it, and it's not that I don't want to spend the money on it. Cats here, but it's just that some of the smaller things, which are really the things that I should deal with, they're not really getting sorted, and it is bugging me a little bit, just because, especially the other day, I thought, oh, this is embarrassing, because people look at the car and think, my God, he hasn't got it in a very good state, has he? So it looked a bit bad. So anyway, let me share with you some of the things that I think I need to sort with a Ferrari, and what I think it probably makes it look like one of the tattiest Ferraris around. Doesn't look it from the outside, but let me show you. Right, we'll start with the outside. And here, as you can see here, this is grey and it should be black. It's just faded with time, and it probably just needs a bit of paint or something. I should probably just paint it, but I haven't done it, so it looks a little bit, and that bothers me because people can see it straight away. There's some sort of crack here in the seal. I don't know why that's happened. It looks like it doesn't quite fit right, which is a bit weird. One of the other things that's just wrong on this side is that, can you see here, this is a carbon fibre mirror. It's an aftermarket fitment on this car, but you can see it's been chipped. It was actually chipped at the garage when they were taking them off for something. I can't say what it was, but they were taken off for something and it got chipped, and it's like really annoying actually that got chipped, because that's not a cheap thing to replace and not easy to fix either. Here on the wheel, you can see that the badge is broken, and this seems to happen quite a lot. I have actually seen this on a couple of cars where the badge is broken. So, and that's not that expensive or difficult to fix, really. You just replace them with a new one. I think I found some on eBay. I think they were about £100, I think, for the 4. Can't remember now, but I'll probably order them at some point. But again, it's not critical or urgent, so I haven't ordered it. I noticed the other day that here, the seal here, I'm not sure it's going to show up with the sun and the light, but you can see the seal is breaking here, which is a bit annoying because that's not easy to repair. You'd have to replace the entire seal. As is common with most Ferraris, because they're quite low, you do get them scraping quite a lot. And here you can see mine is quite damaged underneath because it's scraped a lot, especially coming into my garage here from the outside. It always scrapes. That could do with a bit of a touch-up. Remaining at the front here, you can see the paint is peeling. It looks like it's been chipped. Something has chipped it here. That's starting to look a bit naff, which is a bit of a shame. Somebody was behind me the other day and they were shouting at me going, oh, something's coming off, something's coming off. And I had a look and he's right. Something's coming off. It's this floor plan, well, yeah, this is like a floor plan. It's unfortunately just coming away there. And the other side is okay. But it looks like there was some sort of screw here or something before and it was held in place, but that's gone now. So that needs a bit of a repair. Again, that should be quite easy. I could probably just screw that back together relatively easily. Maddie, get off. If we go inside the car, there's plenty of things in here. The first thing that's been irritating me for a while, and I really do need to get this sorted, is this screw here. You can see it's loose, and sometimes when you, well, let me just show you. If I close the door and then open it again, you can see that it's sort of come out. So I think we'll have to actually remove the whole thing here to be able to then, because obviously it's just the other bit on the other side which isn't actually holding in place, which is a bit annoying. So that needs sorting, but that's a bit of a bigger job really to get fixed. If you saw one of my earlier videos about living with a Ferrari, you'll know that one of the things that afflicts all Ferraris, I think, even up to I think the 458, is that they have sticky buttons, and these surrounds are all sticky. I don't know if you can see it very well, but they're really sticky. If you touch them, they're just sticky, and all these buttons are sticky, and they can be cleaned. You can actually, I think with oven cleaner, you can actually clean them. But again, to remove all these different bits and clean them, to remove this sticky layer that they've got, is a bit of a pain. But I know a lot of people have done it. It's just, come on, Ferrari, how many years have they been making sticky buttons? One of the other things that's wrong in here, this is the original stereo, this Becker. It's actually got a sat-nav, which is a very rudimentary one, in this little tiny screen, you're trying to see the directions. I've never used it. In fact, you can't even switch it on anymore. I've actually removed the fuse. Because it got to a point where the radio was just permanently on and you couldn't even switch it off, and so you'd switch the ignition off and the radio was still on, and obviously it was draining the battery. So I've just removed the fuse, so you can't even use the radio at all. But I mean, who wants to listen to the radio in a Ferrari anyway? The best soundtrack is behind you. One of the things I definitely need to fix is this glove box, because can you see it just you can just open it without pressing the button. The button's here, but actually it just opens. And I have previously taken this off and readjusted it so that it clips in properly, but geez, is it that a faff to do? So I will do it again, but I'll probably need an hour or two. But sometimes when you're going along and you change gear and as you're accelerating, you go very fast and it just opens, and it's really annoying. And the passenger's always there closing the glove box, which sounds silly. One of the things as well, I mean, what's quite common with these Ferraris as well is because they've got leather dash. The leather, especially actually what's underneath it, becomes detached, and you get this sort of very crinkly effect or wrinkly effect in the dash, and you have to re-upholster the entire dash, which is a nightmare. Fortunately, mine's okay, but it's not here, and I think this is normally where it starts. You can see there's a bubble effect on here. I don't know if you can see, but look, you can see it's not quite attached, yeah? You see it's coming off, which is annoying. But that just looks bad. Anybody who sits there, I'm always forever tucking it back in and stuff, but it sort of probably needs redoing. I'm not sure how. I need to have a look. But again, that happens to quite a lot of Ferraris. So it's quite a common problem. I think what's quite common with Ferraris as well is that the clock doesn't, even with the ignition on, you can barely read it sometimes, especially because you tend to drive with your lights on quite a lot. And with your lights on, you can't see anything there. And some people actually put a little LED behind it, and it lights the clock up. But at the moment, the clock is practically unusable. One of the things I definitely need to address is these floor mats. They're a bit old and they move a lot. Because as you get in, you sort of your foot pushes there, and then it all gets wrinkled. It no longer sort of clips here. You see this clip thing is sort of broken. Again, I mean, I have had a look for some mats online, but I just need to get some new ones. But again, it's well, it's not urgent, so it's sort of just goes to the back of the list. You know, it's just like, well, they're fine. They're just mats. You just put your feet on them. Does it really matter? Do they need to be pristine? No. Let's just have a look under the hood, the front, because it's also called. Let's just have a look here. And one of the things I would like to address is that, you know, you've got the Ferrari kit here, the toolkit, and mine looks a little bit grubby. See, the leather is all sort of worn here, and here particularly, look where the clip is, it's sort of falling apart, which is a shame. So that will need sorting. Oh no, it's broken more now. Oops. Oops. Yeah, that's a shame. I assume just years of deterioration, but yeah, I would like to fix that. Then there's little things just like here, you see just where the door lock is, and here there's supposed to be like a little rubber thing which is missing. I don't think it was ever there, so it's not that I've lost it, but it's gone. So I would like to replace it. Probably don't even know where you would buy that. So if I just put up the window here, look at the door seal. You see how it lifts? You see? That really does bug me quite a lot, especially like when you open the window, leave it just a little bit open like that, and then the seal stays up. So that, I think, actually needs an entire new seal though. However, if we look in the engine compartment, everything here is great. There's nothing to fix. Everything, as I said, is replaced with original spec components. There's nothing here that's not that, well, apart from my Capristo system, which is not original. But everything else is as it should be. There's no expense spared. You know, make sure that the engine, mechanically, the car is brilliant. The clutch is good. You know, I've got the new pump that sits in here for the gearbox. That's all working really good. It's brand new as well. So there's actually a lot of brand new parts now since I've had the car. I've replaced quite a few things. So in here, there's absolutely nothing that I need to replace. So there you have it. Those are the sort of little things really that the car needs addressing. It's nothing major. You know, like I said, you know, there's no expense spared really, making sure that it's fit for the road and for what it was really designed to do. But yeah, I do need to fix these little things. They are annoying. Some will be cheaper and easier to fix than others, but I will get them done. But really, does it really matter? Because at the end of the day, this car is all about one thing and everything else is a bit irrelevant. This is what it's all about. So there you have it. Those are little things that are wrong with the car, and obviously, yeah, I do like 10,000 kilometers a year with the car, so I use it quite a lot. So I don't have a lot of time to fix all the little things, but I will get them done eventually. So anyway, hope you found that interesting. Leave a comment if you like, give it a thumbs up if you do, if you like the video, and subscribe if you haven't. lots more videos to come with this car and some others. Anyway, so have a good day, and I'll see you very soon.